Okay, this one is willy-nilly, willy-nilly. And this generally, well, it always has a negative meaning. And what it means is that you're saying that something should have some rules and some organization, but it doesn't. Okay? So, when I'm teaching my class, uh, I ask my students to raise their hand and ask to go to the restroom. The answer is always going to be yes. I've never said no, but I and I also would like them to do it at the end of an activity or like not in the middle of an activity. And that's because I don't want people just getting up and walking out of the classroom willy nilly, willy nilly, willy nilly. All right. Um, so what I'm saying is there should be some rule, right, or some structure. Okay, in the United States, the police cannot they're they're not supposed to stop you willy nilly and start searching you, right? They do. They just invent some reason, but they're not supposed to stop people willy nilly and just say, okay, let me check your bag, right? In Japan, they definitely do, especially if you're foreign, because they will just invent something, right? They'll say, oh, somebody stole a bicycle in this area, or there was a foreigner, there were some stolen passports or something like that, and they really will just stop you willy nilly and they'll invent a reason. But they're not supposed to stop people willy nilly, right? Um, and it could be like, let's say, it could be with anything. So, let's say, for example, if you want your kids to only eat a certain number of snacks, right? You know, like cookies, they have to, you know, go through some process before they take a cookie. We know that, right? That's pretty common. Can I have a cookie, right? And they can't eat them just willy nilly whenever they want, right? And they have to put their toys away because they can't just lay their toys all over the place willy nilly, right? It just means without any structure. Let's see if I got anything here that more than what I've already said. Okay, this woman is talking about the government not going to war willy nilly. There are rules about that. That they should go to Congress and take a vote, and they can't just go to war willy nilly, but they do these days because the Congress didn't want to take responsibility for it, so they gave the president power to go to war willy nilly, and it's a kind of ridiculous thing. Okay, but let's just take a look here.
Against decisions to go to war. Democracies can't just willy-nilly decide one day, I'm going to go to war. They have to go through a process. Elections, elected leaders.
Okay.
Cancer tissue and so on is collected in a very willy-nilly manner. And
Okay, so he's saying something negative. Will insurance companies be able to willy-nilly deny insurance?
Will insurance companies be able to willy-nilly deny insurance because of pre-existing disability because a kid has died?
Okay, so basically means without any rules. Okay, so let's take a look at this. In a careless or an unplanned way. Okay. Without any rules or structure. In a disorganized or unplanned manner, without any rules. Okay. There are some other meanings of willy-nilly in British English, but I don't want to talk about those because I don't use it that way, so I can't really say.
And you can just apply for a credit card anytime willy-nilly and do what I do. I have an overseas wallet. It sits.
Okay, so he's saying something negative. And here's what made me think about this is that like they're using the expression AI willy-nilly. Okay, so AI should have a certain definition, like machine learning. It actually learns, right? But what they're using AI for these days is they're actually using it for just what would in the past be called a program, just a computer program, right? They'll say, oh, this AI thing can, create a lesson plan or something like that. But really, it's just a program, right? There's no machine learning or anything like that. It's just a program. Sometimes they're really great programs, but they're not AI. So there was this lady and she was advertising this thing, and it was about this different teacher tools, right? It can do this. It can create your class list, and it can organize, and it can do this, and just input this, and it will organize. That's not AI, okay? It is a computer program. So because there's no strict definition of AI, people are using this word willy-nilly, right? So, or another thing is like they've got this thing where they'll say you can put a filter on your videos or whatever, and it will change your appearance. And they'll say, okay, well, this is AI. But no, it's not. It's just a program, right? It's just, they're throwing this term around willy-nilly. It's a cool program, and it can change your appearance and put little cat whiskers on you and totally do a lot of really cool things, but it's not AI, Some of them are AI, but a lot of times these days, they're just using it to describe a computer program, and they're throwing the word AI around willy-nilly. Okay, so anyway, yeah. So you don't want your kids to get into the snacks willy-nilly, right? You don't want them just leaving their toys all over the place willy-nilly. Okay, so I will talk to you on the next idiom.